Okay guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do part number 13, the feed rod bearing. Now this is in the metric system, so go ahead and open a standard IPT. And this drawing gives me some Majora's Mask vibes, or even Birdo from Mario. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be working on the XY plane. And like I've mentioned in previous videos, whenever you have an object with cylindrical or circular features, always start with the circular feature, and that will stay, or that will be your origin of your overall part. So the first thing I did was create my circle, and I'm going to create two others. This circle has a diameter of 19 times 2. And I'm going to make both of these equal with each other and then line them up horizontally. Next, I'm going to go ahead and dimension these to be 64 millimeters away from the middle and then 30 away from the center and then 60 center to center. So that gives me my general shape. And I can go ahead and add some lines like so. And the first thing that you need to do once you add these three lines is make sure that they are actually tangent with the circles. So I'm using my tangent constraint to make sure that the circles and the lines all just touch in one location. And then I'm going to trim by using my trim feature. And there's my general shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the circles or the holes that go right here. This is 11. And this is 11 over here. The eyes, I guess, of this mask. And then this larger circle here has a diameter of 28.58. So now that we have that, go ahead and finish your sketch. And we are going to extrude this, this, and this by 13. Okay. So now that we have that general shape, we can go ahead and create a new sketch right here. I'm going to project my geometry, and then I'm going to add a circle right on top. Make sure that the circle matches your projected geometry, and then I'm going to extrude this by 48. But since we already extruded by 13, we have to subtract 13. So 48 minus 13 gives us whatever this is, 25, right? I don't know. Let's see. Am I right? 35. Okay. Next thing we need to add are some random, or not random, but just little circles, little features that pop up right here. This has a diameter of 25, and this one has a diameter of 25. Okay. If you look at this drawing, it doesn't tell you how much it is extruded by, which is really frustrating. But you can gather that information by looking down at the note that says fillets and rounds R3. Well, this has a rounded corner or a filleted corner, whichever one you desire. And since we know that the radius is 3, we have to go ahead and extrude this by 3 to give us something to put that radius on. Okay, so that's it, just by 3. Now, once you have that, we have one more feature to add, and we're going to be creating a sketch on the YZ plane. I'm going to right-click and go to Slice Graphics, and then I'm going to project my geometry of this and everything, actually. I don't know why it's not selecting everything, and this. Okay, so make sure the first thing I want to do is add a rectangle, something like this. It doesn't matter how deep this rectangle goes into this, but just create a rectangle. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. And then create a straight line from this corner to the very tippy top up here, this corner. And go ahead and finish your sketch. Now this is why I have you guys create that rectangle inside the part. Without that rectangle, we have this triangular section that is just floating, barely touching this cylindrical object. So if we add the rectangle, it fills in the missing piece, the missing gap. So that's why this rectangle is very important to add, otherwise you'd have a floating part. So once you have that, go ahead and say OK. And let's go ahead and add some fillets. The radius is 3, so make Inventor's kind of finicky when it comes to making fillets, but that's fine. This is the completed part. Alright, so once you have all of that, go ahead and save this. Once you have this part saved, this is actually one of the very few drawings that you don't need all 3 views. So we can go ahead and scale this up to the 1:1 size, put a front view as well as a side view. Once you have that, you are good to go and say OK. Again, make sure that you guys are selecting tools, changing your document settings, and selecting the ANSI MM because this is in the metric system. Before adding any dimensions, add your center lines and your centerline bisectors. Those are very important. And now you guys can go ahead and start dimensioning. Make sure that you don't forget the metric note that goes down here at the bottom. Change the drawing name and make sure that you guys are correctly dimensioning this. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.